Welcome to Data Buckets Academy. In this episode, we're going to show you our new feature which allow you to calculate percentile very quickly. This feature is extremely important to answer questions such as in how many minutes are 80% of users able to complete the level? Or how many times do 75% of the users lose before winning this level? To use the percentile feature, I will create a new insight. Let's go to the Insight tab. In this Insight tab, I will create a new insight, choose Insight. I'll choose Awesome Demo Game. In this Demo Insight, I would like to know how many times do players lose before winning a level. Then, I would like to see different percentile. For example, P10, P50, P75, or P90. Therefore, in this insight, I would need to do 3 steps. In the first step, I would pick out a group of users who win in each level. In the second step, I will count how many times do they lose before winning. And in the last step, I'll see different percentile. Before getting started, let's rename this insight to percentile. Okay, now in step 0, I'll pick out a group of users who win in each level. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to search for the parameter called level. And then I'll pick out user ID. Okay, now I will start setting conditions for this group of users. The first condition is that they have to be an event called level end. I'll add this to filter and choose level end. And since we're counting win users, then the result have to be win. I'll find result, add to filter, and choose win. And the level I want to see is between the range from 1 to 50. I'll add this to filter, between 1 and 50. Let's set this as a variable so we can change this later if we want to. Okay, now I will count the win count. How many times did they win? I'll add count and set alias to win count. Name this step win users. Okay, let's try to run. So when you scroll down, you'll see the result of this step in each level, then each user ID, how many times did they win. Let's move on to the second step. I'll add a funnel step from this step. And name this lose users. In this step, since we want to know about the lose users, how many times did they lose before winning? Then I'll have to change the filter a little bit to result to lose. I'll delete this and choose lose. Okay, so when we're counting this result, it is actually lose count. So I'll change this name a little bit. Lose count. And I want to set a condition that this user, they must already win more than 1 times. So what I do is that I can add previous column, which is win count from step 0. And in here, I can add this to limit and says that it must be greater or equal than 1. And now I can filter by the user ID in step 0. So I'm working with the group of users in step 0 in this step also. Okay, now I'll sort ascending, and we will have the result. So here we have the result table with the level, the user ID, how many times did they lose before winning. Okay, now I would like to see the percentile for the lose count. So in the very last step, I'll pick out lose count, and then for each level, and then I'll calculate the percentile of lose count. So I'll clone this step, name this percentile, delete all of the filters, okay. So in here, what I can do is that I can add the aggregation of lose count and then see the percentile. So I can click here, and then I choose add aggregation of previous column, and then I choose lose count in step 1, and then choose percentile and choose any percentile here. So let's choose percentile 10. And hit run. Okay, so now you have percentile 10 for each of the level. What I can also do is that I can add different percentiles. So let's say I'll add median here also. I'll choose lose count, percentile, median. Hit run. And then I'll have the result with the first column being level, the second column being P10, the third column being P50 or median. Let's repeat this step for other percentile as well. And lastly, I would like to add max. And maybe add another thing is average. Hit run. Okay, so now we have the result table, which is we have the first column being level, the second column being average, and the other columns are different percentiles. What I can also do is I can visualize it in a line chart. So I can click on the 3 dot here and choose Add Line Chart. In this line chart, the x-axis represent the level, and the y-axis represent the number of lose count. Okay, so when you hover into these lines, you can see all the figures of P10, median, average, P75, P90, P95, and max. Let's try to analyze a level. Let's hover to this, this level 49 and see the figure. Okay, so in this level 49, we can see different percentile, the max and the average figure. This is very interesting because the average lose count is 3.42, while the median is 2. Okay, so if you only look at the figure for average, you have the impression that this level is harder than it actually is. Because in the meantime, the median is only 2, which means that 50% of users, they're able to complete this level in less or equal to loss. This is because the difference comes from the max figure being very high. You can see the max lose count here is 29, which means that maybe 1 or 2 or a few users, they lost a lot of times. And this has shifted our average to very high. And if you look at P90, then it's only 7, which is drastically different from 29. 7 means that 90% of users, they only take 7 or less times to lose before winning this level. So this percentile is extremely helpful, so you can make the most accurate decision instead of making decision based on max, mean, or average, because as you can see here, it can give us a very different perception of this level. In this specific case, it makes us feel like this level is way too difficult. So this is the use of percentile that I think you can utilize it to analyze your games, and you can do it very easily on data buckets. You can see all sort of percentile here just by clicking a few buttons. So that's it for our video today about percentile and the use case that we can use to analyze the number of times a user loses before winning the level. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you have any question, you can contact our team, and thank you so much for listening.